Hi, this is oli-kern from oli-kern TV with Stay Curious. Today is about using multiple perspectives. In this 3-minute video post I talk about how I use this technique and how to apply it effectively. Sometimes, when I'm stuck with a challenge, it helps me to look at my problem with the eyes of someone else. For example, when I set up a meeting or a workshop, I tend to get stuck in doing it the way we usually do it. Sometimes that may be perfectly okay, however, at other times it might become more effective and fun to change one or the other thing for the better. I can do this more easily when shifting my perspective and look at it, for example, from the perspective of my boss. He might have only very limited time and is only interested in the results. At one time, this led me to inviting him only for a certain time slot to the meeting I was planning. Another time, I looked at it from the perspective from the marketing intelligence colleague, who is of course very interested in how our actions are grounded in what we learn from the market. So I made sure, before the meeting, to have all the relevant data available, connected and in the room to work with. Even before starting a discussion in the meeting and taking other people's time. Now, this can also be useful in your private life, of course. For example, if you plan an evening out with your spouse and look for new options on what to do, you could look at it from the perspective of a professor and ask, what could we do where we can also learn something? You could ask from the perspective of a clown. In what ways could we spend our time with as much fun and laughing as possible? Or you become a musician and ask things like, what places could we go to with a perfect musical background? Or how can music be part of our night out? Should we start maybe dancing lessons? Now, how could you effectively use this technique? Well, first take maybe 10 to 20 minutes. Then formulate your question or challenge from your own perspective. It is important to really write it down in a full sentence. Then imagine you are a musician, the CEO, a judge, a consultant, a journalist, a mother, a child, or Albert Einstein. Do this with at least 3 perspectives or roles. Again, write it down. And finally, analyze your 3 or more answers and combine them to a much enhanced question or even a solution for your challenge. Okay. And you know what? That's it for today. As always, stay curious and keep smiling.